need that additional component. It's been a roller coaster of unreliable, inconsistent funds that are the difference between us asking for overrides, asking for other cuts, forcing our general government to really struggle with how to meet these challenges year after year after year. And we just need a stable system that says you have 2,900 students, you get X amount of dollars. You have X amount in special ed courses, you get X amount of dollars for their programs, for their transportation, so that just sort of systematically make sure that in Massachusetts, all children have adequate chance at a good quality public education, and not some are going to school for extended periods of time because it benefits Charlestown to increase the MCAS, so they get additional money per student because there's that thought that those children need more assistance. Maybe they do, but I'm just saying that we just don't seem to have any way of getting our fair share, and that some kids need to go to school extended days while we're cutting back hours, and those core curriculum hours are at a premium here in North Reading. So we're just trying to make sure our children are educated in a fair and consistent manner with those in the rest of the state, and that the state has a level investment process that says we're going to invest in every child at a minimum of this amount. And if they qualify for this, that, and the other thing because of their lower income, I know it does take into consideration all of that some way, somehow, but inflationary reasons, we have, in North Reading we have a young teaching staff, so we have to, their step increases put more and more pressure on our system because we don't have them at the higher end where they're older, they've been here, and they're at their tail end of those step increases. We have a lot of diverse needs that we just need to know we have a consistent, reliable source. And I think that's that we need to talk to this or get to the Secretary of Education and coordinate that.
Bruce, your folks, the Senate's going to get the budget after the House is finished. Are there folks that you can clearly outline for us that need some prompting?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, on these fronts, the Chair of Education, Senator Antonioni, we need to be concerned about the Senate President. We always need to be concerned about her. Senator Therese Murray. Senator Antonioni is from Leominster. Senator Murray is from Plymouth. And Senator Pangiatakis, who was from Lowell, who is the chair of the Senate Ways and Means Committee. Those are the three most pivotal people in the budget process that we need to be concerned about. But I don't want to lose the point. I think we all should be saying clearly to the folks at the Readiness Project, you cannot have a readiness study without looking at Chapter 70 from it. You just can't do it. And that's something Brad and I can talk about, whether we can get a letter started to our colleagues to send on that front.
I said to Bruce, I think too, one of the things is, you have Stand for Children, you have Suburban Coalition, you have MMA. I think there needs to be an effort made to work so that the ask is sort of coherent.
Right.
And I think that's important.
Which comes back to, my ask for all of you. I got an email from my friends from North Andover that I met at the statewide summit. We all met people from the statewide summit, and here's an opportunity for us to reach out or get Brad and Bruce to go to these types of events, or whether it's Dr. Troughton or the town administrator, there's opportunities. For example, there's a breakfast on April 7th at 10 o'clock in the morning, and it's put on by this coalition, the Suburban Coalition. And again, this would be an opportunity for people like us, more like us, to get together more locally to talk about these issues. Well, again, I'm thinking to myself, okay, we have to get people to town meeting. We need to get parents there. This is Monday morning of that day. We should be all, decorating our cars to make sure everyone knows about that night. We just don't have enough people to do all this work, because nothing will make me happier than to go there and to know how we can get that done. But we can't take our eye off the ball here unless there's enough people willing to do this work, to put different people in different places so that we're making a difference and influencing lots of different people at the same time. So anyway, it still comes back to all of you helping us do that. Anything else? Does anyone else want to ask one last question?
In this adequacy study and the readiness group, is there any talk, or would there be any talk, of moving the early education, those children that are under 5 years old on August 30th, to be put back to the Department of Public Health? Because right now they're funded, if I'm correct, by the Department of Education, and it seems that a recurring issue is the funding of the transportation for the special ed and the special ed teachers. And I know other states, like Maine, for example, all of that is paid for by the Department of Public Health until they enter kindergarten, either when they're 5, or whatever the cutoff is for that year. It seems like even though that's a small piece of the puzzle, it may be worth looking at.
A while ago, we did a reform where we combined two different parts of two different agencies to create the Department of Early Childhood Care and Education to try to look exactly at that issue. I can't tell you what the Readiness Project is thinking about, and that's one of the frustrations that Brad and I have. In fact, we learned through Senate debate yesterday on the floor that apparently there's a meeting at 8:30 tomorrow morning of the Readiness Project. That was the first time we actually found out where the meeting. I don't know if either of us, having just found that out, is going to be able to go. So we can't tell you that.
They may not let you.
But certainly it should be, I'm sorry?
They may not let you.
Well, they may not. I don't know. I don't know the secret handshake or the door knock or whatever. But an adequacy study should look at things like that to see, are we spending our money in the right way and is it getting the right result? Hopefully Readiness would, and with the cast of characters that are involved, there would be somebody that would bring this up. But sitting here today, I can't tell you.
I mean,
what
I
it
don't
is.
want it to seem like I'm just thinking of how to pass the buck, so to speak,
Yep.
or pass the
Right, but to
spending.
the extent you shift over and leave dollars, and obviously Department of Public Health is going to say, wait a second, we have, you know, so and to the extent you just move the dollars, it can be something of an academic exercise, and maybe more appropriate, but it's also a question of how many more dollars can be prioritized into the pie, so to speak.
Well, I know everyone's been here for 2 hours, and we're extremely grateful that you've taken the time, and you know all the work that has to get done and continues to get done. I think that you've witnessed here today that we have huge advocates for local aid resolutions. I believe that our state leaders are doing as much as they possibly can, and they continue to be responsive to our needs. And for that, we're extremely grateful, and we appreciate your hard work and your dedication to public service. You've been doing this for a long time. I know it must be frustrating to be a Republican right now, but don't give up hope, because that cycle will turn. And
It's
then,
like being a Red Sox fan, you know?
Because we're Republicans, we're eternal optimists by definition,
That's
so it's
exactly
okay.
right. Well, and we need you to be, because we sometimes, you know, get very frustrated and we give up hope, and we hope that you will not do that either, because I guess we're here to help you, help us, and to the extent that we continue our good communication, then I know that we'll be successful to that end. So thank you very, very much for all you're doing.
Thank you.